Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 6-tool power tool combo kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Not only should Walters be your spot before and after every Nats game, but also Walters is an avenue for cheaper Nats tickets. When buying tickets to Nationals Park through the rest of the season, enter promo code WALTERS for 30% off.
Right on top of the plate, swings and drives one on a line to deep left. This is going to get out of here. It's a home run. 2 rows deep over the left field wall. A line shot for Real Muto, who jumps on the first pitch from Trevor Williams. A fastball right down the middle at 90 miles an hour. That's his 9th home run of the year. It's the Phillies 3 and the Nationals nothing.
Here's the set and the pitch. Swing a fly ball deep left. This is going to be a grand slam. It is long gone. And the Nationals lead 4-3. Stone Garrett brings them all in with a grand slam, his 5th home run of the season on the very first pitch from Suarez. And the Nationals are in front for the first time today.
And the pitch. Swinging a ground ball right side. Fielded by Chavis to Vargas for 1. Relay to first. Double play! Double play! Double play again for the 3rd straight inning. The Nationals induce a double play. And for Finnegan, he ends 2 innings in a row by inducing double plays. 4-6-3 retires the side.
Hey, real quick, one quick announcement. We have one All-Star this year that was selected, and his name is Josiah Gray.
And welcome to Nats Chat for Monday, July 3rd, 2023. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. Mark Zuckerman is off for this installment of the show, but we have a Nationals win and a Nationals All Star selection to discuss. A 5-4 win at the Philadelphia Phillies on Sunday afternoon to win the series 2-1. How about this series for the Nats? 2 one-run wins sandwiched around a hideous blowout loss, right? Friday night, a 2-1 win. Saturday, the humiliating 19-4 loss. But Sunday afternoon, a 5-4 win, concluding a terrific 6-3 road trip. Yes, the Nats just wrapped up a 6-3 road trip. The Nats won 2 of 3 games at the San Diego Padres. The Nats then won 2 of 3 games at the Seattle Mariners, and the Nats now have won 2 of 3 games at the Phillies. A 6-3 road trip that consisted of 3 series victories. Not too shabby. The Nats now are 34-49. That is the 2nd worst record in the National League, but consider this. The Nats now are 21-22 on the road. Just a game under 500 on the road as compared to 13-27 at home. 13-27 at Nationals Park versus 21-22 away from Nationals Park. As you probably know, the Nats, since moving to Washington, D.C., have had a bit of a thing in terms of doing better on the road as compared to at home. I mean, the Nats in their postseason history since moving to D.C., 12-5 on the road versus just 7-12 at home. We all remember the 2019 World Series in which the Nats went 4-0 on the road and 0-3 at home. What is it with this home field disadvantage that the Nats have had for years? I don't know. Anyway, great job by the Nats to win this series at the Phillies. Here was Nats manager Davey Martinez during his postgame session with reporters on Sunday afternoon.
We played hard. We played hard all this whole trip. So let's play a little bit better at home, right? That's I asked them that. We play a little bit better at home. We'll do some good things. But like I said, they're playing hard. It shows character what they did today after yesterday. Come back and keep plugging away and come back and win in a game like this against a really good team. So I can't say enough about that team, about what we're trying to do here, about that group. That group is special. It really is. So we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep playing hard and keep fighting and come back tomorrow and try to go 1-0.
Yes, 1-0. We're all trying to do that every day. Don't forget to check out our new website, natschatpodcast.com, which allows you to listen to previous installments of the show, contact the show, and order a Nats Chat Podcast t-shirt. Also, if you have like 20 seconds to spare, please consider giving this podcast a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. The 5-star ratings help out the podcast a lot. Also, please consider writing a review saying that you like the podcast. You can do that on Apple Podcasts, and the reviews, like the ratings, help us out a lot. So thank you very much for doing them. They are appreciated. Much more on what went down for the Nats at the Phillies on Sunday afternoon in a bit. But a man who was a key part of that Nats series win is the Nats' lone all-star for this season, at least for now. Nats starting pitcher Josiah Gray. He on Sunday evening was named to the 2023 National League All-Star team. Congratulations to Josiah Gray. He really is in the midst of a terrific step-forward season. So the Nats acquired Gray and catcher Keibert Ruiz from the Los Angeles Dodgers as the headline prospects in a crop of 4 prospects for starting pitcher Max Scherzer and shortstop Trey Turner in a trade that was finalized on July 31st, 2021, and very much led the way in the massive fire sale by the Nats in that 2021 season. Gray for the Nats in the 2021 regular season, 12 starts, ERA of 5.31. Gray for the 2022 regular season, ERA of 5.02, gave up a Major League worst 38 home runs and issued a National League worst 66 walks. Gray, over his first 2 Major League regular seasons, 2021 and 2022, gave up a staggering 57 home runs in 219 and a third innings. The truth is that things were not going so well for Josiah Gray as a Major League pitcher until this season. Josiah Gray in this 2023 regular season, 17 starts, ERA of 3.30, and get this, he threw games on Saturday, was number 5 among all National League pitchers in wins above replacement in WAR per Baseball Reference for this regular season at 2.7, and was number 10 among all qualified National League pitchers in ERA plus for this regular season at 1.27. ERA plus is ERA that's adjusted for a player's league and home ballpark. 100 is average, above 100 is good, below 100 is bad. Josiah Gray, quantifiably, has gone from being one of the worst starting pitchers in the majors over the last 2 seasons to one of the best starting pitchers in the majors this season. That is remarkable. And, of course, this transition was very much on display in that Nats 2-1 win at the Phillies on Friday evening. Gray in that game, maybe his best outing of the season. 1 run in 6 innings, 8 strikeouts versus 1 walk. Gave up just 6 hits, all of which were singles. He threw a ton of strikes, 99 pitches, a whopping 69 strikes versus just 30 balls. But when you talk about the positives from this Nats season so far, Josiah Gray to me is number 1. You know, not just in terms of what he's doing this season, but in terms of what this could mean for the long term, what this could mean for the rebuild. You know, I talk so often on this podcast about potential building blocks. Josiah Gray is a potential building block. He might be the most significant potential building block on this team. And the way he's performing this season, you know, you can almost take out the word potential and just say, yeah, he's a building block. You know, he's a guy who can be a foundational piece for that next great run of Nationals teams. We'll see. He's got to do this beyond this season, obviously. But boy, off the struggles of the last 2 seasons, to see Josiah Gray do as he has done this season is outstanding. And a salute to him for getting this nod as the Nats' lone representative on the National League All Star team. Again, at least for now. We'll see if things change. It's no surprise that the Nats, in having the second worst record in the National League, only have 1 All-Star for this season. Again, at least for now. Things could change given injuries and guys just not wanting to play in the game. But I do want to highlight the 2 Nats who are 2 All-Star snubs. Third baseman Jeimer Candelario and right fielder Lane Thomas. Now, personally, I don't get that worked up over All-Star selections. The All-Star game is an exhibition game. It's a showcase for Major League Baseball. You know, the process by which All-Stars are selected is convoluted and really flawed in terms of truly identifying the best players. In case you don't know, the 9 starting position players in each league are selected by fans via 2 phases of voting, and then reserve position players and pitchers in each league are selected via a combination of player ballots and the commissioner's office. And keep in mind that the commissioner's office must adhere to this rule of every major league team having at least one all-star. You also have the reality of having to put together all-star rosters. In other words, you could only have so many third basemen, you could only have so many outfielders, etc. So bottom line, I don't take all-star selection super seriously, and I never use how many times a player has been selected as an all-star to measure how great that player is. But consider the seasons that Jeimer Candelario and Lane Thomas are having. Jeimer Candelario, through games on Saturday, was number 1 among all National League third basemen in WAR per Baseball Reference for this regular season at 2.6, and was number 1 among all National League third basemen in WAR per Fangraphs for this regular season at 2.4. So let's think about this. WAR measures a position player in totality, his batting, his base running, and his defense. I'm not saying that WAR is gospel. I'm not saying that you have to be a slave to WAR, but I do think you absolutely should look at WAR when evaluating a player. Jeimer Candelario, per the 2 most prominent versions of WAR, the Baseball Reference version and the Fangraphs version, number 1 among all National League third basemen, and yet he's not a member of the National League All Star team. Does that make sense? Heck no. Okay, like if you're talking about merit, who deserves to be an All Star, how do you not deserve to be an All Star when you are number 1 via 2 versions of the most comprehensive and I think telling statistic in all of baseball, wins above replacement? And then Lane Thomas. So he threw games on Saturday, was number 8 among all National League players in offensive WAR for this regular season at 2.8, and was number 10 among all qualified National League players in OPS plus for this regular season at 139. OPS plus is OPS, on base percentage, plus slugging percentage. That's adjusted for a player's league and home ballpark. 100 is average, above 100 is good, below 100 is bad. An OPS plus of 139 is awesome, 39% better than league average. Lane Thomas this season has been one of the best offensive players in the majors, and yet is not an all-star. So I hope that at least one of these guys winds up on the National League All-Star team, but both are deserving. Hey, are you a law firm partner stuck on an underperforming team while the rest of the competitors are spending big and winning big? Well, unlike Mackenzie Gore and Keibert Ruiz, you have options. You don't have to stay on your 60-win team. Nats Chat sponsor Mason Kalfas and his team specialize in placing partners and associates at medium-sized and large law firms in Washington, D.C. and across the country. Mason Kalfas has recruiters in 6 states and has placed lawyers in more than half of the 100 largest law firms in the United States. While you may be reading doom and gloom from the legal press, many practices are red-hot: antitrust, IP litigation, white-collar litigation, finance and direct lending, and healthcare. Because you are not under a CBA or team control for 6 years. In fact, staying at a firm too long is often a recipe for being underpaid. Explore your options today with Mason Kalfas. Call Mason today at 202-486-3535. That number again, 202-486-3535.
Hey, Nats Chat Podcast. Tim Shover's here to tell you about the Game Time app. I got a text recently from a good friend of mine whose daughter is really into Harry Potter and wants to be there on Saturday, July 8th for Harry Potter Day against the Texas Rangers. They aren't the biggest sports fans to begin with, so I directed him to the Game Time app and told him what was the best move. Now he will be behind the Nats dugout for a reasonable price, all by simply logging on to the Game Time app. Game Time is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. Get images of your seat before you buy so you will know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code NATSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code NATSCHAT for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Hey guys, it's Al Galdi for Window Nation. Summer is here. The heat, the humidity forcing your air conditioning unit into overdrive, leading to energy bills that are higher than James Wood's potential. The solution? New windows from my friends at Window Nation, which is offering a great deal. No money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years, plus 2 free windows for every 2 windows that you buy. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com and tell Window Nation that you want the deal that you heard about from Al Galdi on the Nats Chat podcast. Protect your home and increase the value of your home with great new windows from Window Nation, which does windows right. You know, the average installer from Window Nation has over 16 years of experience with over 20,000 windows installed. No money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years, plus 2 free windows for every 2 windows that you buy. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION or windownation.com, and make sure that you tell Window Nation that Al Galdi sent you.
Hey, Nats Chat Podcast. The other night, my parents were at the Braves game. They live in Atlanta. What do you want from me? Anyhow, my mom texted me afterwards. She saw 4 guys stroll in, and one of them was wearing bird dogs. She said by far he looked the best of anyone in his group of friends. Bird dogs fit better than regular shorts that are made of a stiff, restricting cotton, and I believe it based upon customer reviews. Go to birddogs.com/pool and enter promo code POOL for a free Yeti-style tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/pool for a free Yeti-style tumbler. You won't want to take your bird dogs off, they promise you.
Now the pitch to Jeimer. Candelario is belted to deep left field. This ball is going, and gone. Goodbye. 6 rows deep toward left center field. Bang! Zoom goes Jeimer Candelario with his 11th home run of the year. And the 2nd home run of the day for the Nationals. And the Nationals have themselves a 2-run lead here in the top of the 5th inning. It's Washington 5 and Philadelphia 3.
Candelario, he had the Nats 5-4 win at the Phillies on Sunday afternoon, homered. He is the Nats starting third baseman and number 2 batter, 1 for 3 with a solo homer and a walk. Candelario in a Nats 1-run 5th, a 1-out first pitch solo homer to left field for a 5-3 Nats lead. And Candelario in a Nats 4-run 3rd drew a 2-out walk. But also in that Nats 4-run 3rd on Sunday afternoon was a grand slam. Stone Garrett. How about this guy? Stone Garrett on Sunday afternoon as a Nats starting left fielder and cleanup batter. Boy, did he clean things up. 2 for 4 with a grand slam and a single. Garrett in that Nats 4-run 3rd, a 2-out first pitch grand slam to left field for a 4-3 Nats lead. A grand slam that came off back-to-back 2-out walks by Jeimer Candelario and Joey Meneses. What did I talk about on the last installment of the podcast? The Nats' lack of, home runs and walks, and how home runs and walks equate with good offense in baseball much more than making contact and putting balls in play do. Well, there you go. Back-to-back 2-out walks by Candelario and Meneses, and then a 2-out grand slam by Stone Garrett. Was excellent to see that. Second grand slam for Stone Garrett this regular season. He's the first Nats player with at least 2 grand slams in a regular season since Gerardo Parra in 2019. Not since the Baby Shark have we seen this. And Stone Garrett on Sunday afternoon, top of the 2nd, a leadoff full count opposite field single to right center field despite having been down in the count at one point. 1-2. Both the grand slam and the single came off a lefty, the Phillies' lefty starting pitcher, Ranger Suarez. Garrett in the Nats 2-1 win at the Phillies on Friday night as the Nats starting left fielder, number 6 batter, 1 for 4 with a 2-run homer. Garrett in that game in a Nats 2-run 2nd had a 1-out 2-run homer to left field for a 2-0 Nats lead. That homer came off a Phillies lefty starter and Christopher Sanchez. Stone Garrett this season against left-handed pitching has been so good. He now in this regular season has an OPS of .871 against left-handed pitching. And by the way, also for Stone Garrett in this series was another hit. He in the 19-4 loss on Saturday came off the bench, top of the 9th, had a leadoff opposite field single to shallow right off the Phillies righty reliever, Dylan Covey. The Nats starting pitching in this series at the Phillies featured one good start one hideous start and one so-so start. Mentioned the good start, which was by Josiah Gray. The bad start was by Mackenzie Gore on Saturday. And the so-so start came from Trevor Williams in this 5-4 win on Sunday afternoon. Williams allowed 3 runs in 5 innings. He gave up 6 hits, 2 homers, a double, and 3 singles. He issued 2 walks. He recorded just 1 strikeout. He over 80 pitches threw 48 strikes versus 32 balls. Williams in the bottom of the first allowed 3 runs, but he did then toss 4 scoreless innings, although he in the outing did not have a single clean inning. Bottom of the first was rough. Williams gave up a 2-out full count solo homer by Nick Castellanos to left field for a 1-0 Phillies lead. Williams gave up a 2-out single by ex-Nat Bryce Harper to right center field. And Williams gave up a 2-out first pitch, 2-run homer by JT Realmuto to left field for a 3-0 Phillies lead. But, overall, Trevor Williams on Sunday afternoon, to me, did what he's done for most of this season, and that is give the Nats a chance to win. He has been a mediocre starting pitcher, but I don't say mediocre as an insult. Mediocre isn't bad, Mediocre is, mediocre, He, in this regular season, has made 17 starts, registered an ERA of 4.34. His ERA plus entering Sunday was 99. Again, 100 is league average. So 99 is, yes, mediocre. But mediocre isn't such a bad thing. Like, league average is not a bad thing. Statistically speaking, league average can be just fine. And that's what Trevor Williams has been this season. I mean, you think about his circumstance with the Nats. The Nats brought him in this past offseason on a 2-year, $13 million free agent contract. Like, you're not asking him to be your ace. You're not asking him to be your number 2 starter. Now, in this Nats rotation, I suppose you could say, well, he's overslotted in that he is the Nats number 3 starter, at least in theory, in terms of quality, right? I mean, I don't think you'd say Patrick Corbin is a number 3 starter. I mean, in terms of salary, Corbin's a number 1 starter, but in terms of performance, you'd say, no, Trevor Williams is your number 3. So in a good rotation, Trevor Williams is a number 5, maybe a number 4. But if you're just evaluating his season, he's been okay, which is kind of what I think you were hoping for. And, knock on wood, he has stayed healthy. He has made 17 starts. Don't take that for granted. So, not lights out, but he gave the Nats a chance to win. He was fine in this game, just like he, for the most part this season, has been fine. But better than fine for the Nats on Sunday afternoon was their bullpen. 4 Nats relievers combined to allow 1 run in 4 innings as the Nats, with relievers pitching, turned 3 key double plays. These double plays were huge in this game. So we, for a second consecutive game, did see Jose Ferrer, who in the Nats' previous game made his Major League regular season debut. Ferrer on Sunday afternoon, a scoreless bottom of the 6th, despite having runners on first and second with no outs. He gave up a leadoff double by Bryson Stott off the right center field wall on a ball that was awkwardly played by right fielder Lane Thomas, and yet another instance of him having a hard time with a ball at or off the wall. Ferrer then issued a walk of Alec Boehm, but Ferrer then induced a first pitch 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Derek Hall, and then struck out Brandon Marsh swinging with a runner on third and 2 outs.
The 2-2 to Marsh. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a high fastball. Jose Ferrer with a scoreless inning.
Mason Thompson, he in the bottom of the 7th, did give up a run. He allowed a run and recorded just 1 out. He gave up a leadoff double by Kyle Schwarber to right field on a 1-2 pitch and gave up a 1-out RBI double by Nick Castellanos down the left field line to cut the Nats lead to 5-4. Mason Thompson had gotten his act together and now lately has been up and down again. He, in some outings, has been really good, but in other outings has been not so good, and he on Sunday afternoon was not so good. But then came Kyle Finnegan, the fireman. Fireman Finnegan came into the game, and he got the job done. 1 2/3 scoreless innings. He came into the game in the bottom of the 7th with a runner on second, 1 out, and the Nats nursing a 5-4 lead. He did issue a 1-out walk of Bryce Harper, but Finnegan then induced a 6-4-3 double play off the bat of JT Realmuto for the second and third outs.
2 on, 1 out. The pitch. Swing a ground ball to short. Can they turn it? Vargas to second for 1. Chavis to first for 2. It's an inning-ending double play.
And Finnegan then tossed a scoreless bottom of the 8th, despite issuing a leadoff walk of Bryson Stott, and despite giving up a 1-out single by Derek Hall on a wicked shot up the middle. But Finnegan then induced a 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Brandon Marsh for the second and third out. So Finnegan in this outing did put some guys on base, but he made key pitches when he had to make key pitches, and he got a lot of help from the defense behind him. And it's worth noting that this game on Sunday afternoon was a game in which Davey Martinez did go with some reserves. You had Riley Adams as an at-starting catcher. You had Michael Chavis as an at-starting second baseman. You had Ildemaro Vargas as an at-starting shortstop. And that double play trio of Vargas at short, Chavis at second, and Dominic Smith at first base did a really good job getting the job done with these three key double plays. And then Hunter Harvey, he got the job done. A perfect bottom of the ninth, despite facing the numbers 1 through 3 batters in the Phillies lineup. Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, and Nick Castellanos. Really nice job by Hunter Harvey navigating that top portion of the Phillies lineup. The Phillies are a tough team, especially for the Nats. I mean, I know that the Phillies are not having a great season, but if you watch these games over the weekend, first of all, Citizens Bank Park, the sit is what you call a bandbox of a ballpark, okay? Balls fly out of there. It was a hot and humid weekend. We actually had a brief rain delay in this game on Sunday afternoon. Beating the Phillies is not easy, especially for a rebuilding team like the Nats. And so for them to, in 2 of the 3 games, do a pretty good job against this Phillies lineup to come away with 2 wins out of the 3 games. Look, Saturday was brutal, no doubt, but those games are going to happen. And as I talked about toward the end of the show for Saturday's game, yes, that game was awful, but if the Nats come back and win the game on Sunday afternoon, you win the series, and, that game on Saturday, as ugly as it was, can end up being, just a speed bump, just a hiccup, just a blip on the radar. And sure enough, that's kind of what that game ends up being here with, again, the Nats winning the series and wrapping up an oh-so-nice 6-3 road trip. So the Nats now have 7 games left until the All Star break for them. They have what is a 7-game homestand now coming up. 4 games against the Cincinnati Reds, followed by 3 games against the Texas Rangers. The Cincinnati Reds really one of the surprise teams in Major League Baseball. The Reds are tied with the Milwaukee Brewers atop the National League Central. Game 1 of this series against the Reds Monday evening at 6:05. Jake Irvin will be the Nats starting pitcher. Game 2, Tuesday morning at 11:05 in the Nats annual July 4th morning game. By the way, I am a big fan of that. I think that's one of the best things that the Nats do, that annual July 4th, 11:05 a.m. game. I actually wouldn't mind seeing the Nats do that for other holidays. I mean, I know that you're not going to be at home for every holiday, but, how about like a Memorial Day Monday, 11:05 a.m. game, a Labor Day Monday, 11:05 a.m. game, something to think about. But Patrick Corbin, due to be the Nats starting pitcher for the Tuesday morning game. Hey, we'll have breakfast with Patrick Corbin, brunch with our guy Corbin. Game 3, Wednesday night at 7:05. The All-Star, Josiah Gray, will be the Nats starting pitcher, and Game 4, Thursday afternoon at 1:05, Mackenzie Gore will be the Nats starting pitcher in what sets up to be actually a fairly key outing for Mackenzie Gore. I mean, I don't want to overhype it, but off what happened with him on Saturday, boy, you'd love to see him go out there this Thursday afternoon against a pretty good team of the Reds and pitch really well. So I hope like heck that we do see that from Mackenzie Gore on Thursday afternoon. You tell us what you think. Hit us up on Twitter at Nats_chat. You can email the show, natschatpodcast@gmail.com, including if you would like to sponsor the show, hit up Tim Shover, see what we can do for you. Again, that email address is natschatpodcast@gmail.com. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat are courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. A thank you to Tim Newmark for the Nats Chat podcast music. Visit timnewmark.com. I'm Al Galdi. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat podcast.
The pitch is lined into left field for a base hit. Robert Hassel III with a single to left.